This is a lovely answer, isn't it? I'd like to answer a bit tangentially because I think this is serious stuff. I just want to shift the thing. You know, sometimes the answers are not either or. You know that, don't you? Because like Jesus came, there was this 400-year lull, and then Jesus arrived in a manger, in the house of bread. And that is linked, but in a food trough, and that's linked. And we're actually moving towards literally taking the mark of the beast. So this man coming as God coming as man, arrives in a beast food trough, inserted into a beast food trough. He's not directly linked with the Adam lineage. He arrived in a womb of the Adam lineage, and he's the only divinely begotten son. I mean, that's just so. It's not part of the law directly, but it's inserted into the line of those observing the law. It's got so many random tangential things, and that's what I believe the role of men and women is, because the actual answer isn't man versus woman. It's something totally different. And in history, one of the first to see it and catch it was Madame Guyon, Jeanne Guyon. I mean, you could say it was Mary Magdalene and the mother of Jesus, because they rushed to the cross. They listened to every word that Jesus said. John was there at the cross, but he didn't rush to the tomb. He wasn't there the day of the resurrection. So somehow they were on a different frequency. Mary and Mary Magdalene were on a different frequency. And we know Jesus explained it all, because it says in the Gospels he explained he spoke to them very frankly, and he said, "Look, I'm going to be taken and arrested, and I'm going to be killed." Said it very, very flatly like that, but they still couldn't hear it. And it's just like, I mean, probably all of you believe in COVID and all the COVID vaccines, but for those of us that didn't, we found that saying absolutely matter of fact, things from the manufacturing companies of the vaccines, who told us the ingredients, who told us all the things it was trying to do, still people would just not hear us, including my wife. My wife's actually divorced me over this. So what the answer to the thing, because Proverbs calls it a mystery of a man and a maid. The mystery isn't anything. No one here has really nabbed it. I mean, has anybody nabbed it? Apart from knowing generally in the spirit there's neither male nor female. But I don't think anyone's really grabbed it. To grab it, we really got to get hold of what Madame Guyon was saying, and she was murdered. Catholics burned her. Satan did not want that information out in the earth. And the other person with it was Jakob Böhme in Germany, and he just had the wisdom, I suppose, not to be too public or something. But he said to people, look, people in hundreds of years' time, Jesus has told me that, or the Spirit has told me that, people will only read and understand my stuff in hundreds of years' time. And see, the answer is what the apostles picked up through going through the processes at an unprecedented, accelerated speed of 42 months, but culminating with just about the most embarrassing thing that can ever happen to any human at any time in history. They sold God down the drain. And that marked them. And it marked Peter, so he was hung upside down. It also marked St. Paul that he had actually ordered the murder of Stephen, the first helps ministry in history. So these are the depths of the cutting of the surgeon's knife that gets us off Genesis 3. That's the point. Zoe Heavenly Life, yeah, it comes in as this lady has written. Yeah, it's all very nicey. But Zoe Life cannot share accommodation with the former sullied God breath. It can't share that space. And so God killed us. But we who live in the soul, we live in our mind, will and emotions, because Satan locked us there 6,000 years ago. He opened the aperture of our eyes, then were their eyes opened, and created this false space, false light of being a self-powered soul. So we can't, but by the Holy Spirit processes, we can't even come into quite understanding and moving from Zoe Life. We're sort of halfway between all the time. And, it seems like only the cutting to the depth of what was happening in Paul and the apostles starts to get us out so that we can minister to other people and raise them to this life. But a lot of women have been involved. So you've got the two Marys in the beginning. You've got Madame Guyon. You've got an evangelist called Maria Woodworth-Etter, who's the first healing evangelist in modern history, opening up the healing evangelism realm, which, by the way, is only the middling realm. It's only the young man realm. 1 John 2 lists the 3 stages of growth, and the middling realm is word of faith, word of victory. It's what we got from America. It's what Kenneth Hagin's about. It's what Kenneth Copeland's about. It's only the middling realm. It's only the teenage spirit realm. Do you get that? So this is what I'm saying. The man and the maid thing, where we actually get to operate together, is pretty darned advanced and involves a mighty lot of circumcision. That's where there's no male or female. And meanwhile, we're still living natural lives. We're still living in lives which require women functions and men functions. And yeah, everybody does university now. We have both male and females running pyramid organizations, because we learnt that from angels. Angels don't know anything about anything else. They only know about hierarchy. We create churches that are pyramids. It's part of the problem you see going on. All the churches on Hayling Island, I think bar one, he's a Catholic man, are run by women. But revival isn't happening. Nothing's happening there. I don't think many people are coming to the Lord. I don't think many people are being born again or baptized in the Spirit. They're doing no better than a lot of the men did before in all these organizations. Because it takes the work of the Holy Spirit to actually do this stuff so that we lead people to the Lord and get them baptized in the Spirit. And that's just the middling realm. And then, so that's why Jesus designed a church made up of 12 people of completely different personalities, having brought them through in the Spirit to start with. There's nothing like it on earth. M. Scott Peck, in Different Drums, says there's 4 psychological stages. This is just in the natural realm of growth. And it seems like it's best to have men as head of the family to establish what you call the socialization realm. So it's the second stage in. But either way, we can't walk around as robots, just fulfilling normal compliance and going through every day and being good little robots doing our social function. We have to be living beings. And the only person that can bring us forth properly into a living being, well, New Agers say you just follow your innards, and that's part of the answer because you're rediscovering your spirituality. But you ain't doing anything about that spirit that is solid. That's why we need to be born again. That's why we need stuff